this is his first day of doing anything here. So we've got a nice simple bridle for him. Oh, you're a good boy, aren't you? Big 10-year-old teeth. Okay, we'll put that up a little bit. It's a bit long, isn't it? There's the horses. How's that? Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, you're beautiful. Careful. So we're going to go and do some give to the bit work with him. Now I was told with him that don't try and lead him anywhere without a rearing bit. He was a stallion until a year or so ago, I think. Oops. And like most racehorses, I don't think he's got an awful lot of manners. Anyway, we're right, off we go. He's been in the paddock for a year, so this is his first time in done anything at all for a year, isn't it? Alright, so what I'm going to do first of all is just ask him to give to pressure. So I'm just going to hold some pressure there until he gives to it. I don't want him to move necessarily. He wants to look at everything. What I want to do is try and get his attention by putting a bit of pressure on and getting him to find an answer to that pressure. Spin me around like a racehorse. This is the problem with these guys, is pressure really means nothing. You know, he's 10 now, so that's quite a few years of going around, and this is really common, this sort of chucking your head around and seeing how that works. I think it probably does work quite well. But what I need, I can't, obviously contemplate doing anything with him until I've got his attention. And at the moment, his attention is everywhere but on me. So before I've got that, then there's no point in doing anything. Some people might say, well, I could lunge him around, or I could chase him around the round pen. But I don't want him tired, I want him attentive, and they're two very different things. Good boy. What I need to do is make this pressure motivating enough to get him to do what I want him to do, which is just to give to it a little bit. Good boy, good boy. That's right there with the best time you've done so far. Now, because he was a stallion for the first 8 years of his life, I was told not to take him anywhere without a rearing bit on, which tells me that, he probably is quite hard to handle on the ground, and he probably doesn't care much about pressure. Add that to a racehorse who has been pretty much taught to ignore pressure. You've got to really work quite hard at this lesson. This is the most important lesson he's going to do, and he's going to continue to do this give to the bit work for the rest of his, riding career. So we don't want to tire him out with it today, mentally or physically. Really, mentally is the big problem. Good boy, good for you. Good boy. Good boy. You're a good boy, aren't you? Okay, I'll have a bit of a look at the other side. It's interesting with these guys because even more so than pleasure horses, they really have had very little time spent on their right at all. And I find with the ex-race horses that they're quite often 10 times easier on the right. And, it's a real blank canvas, the right. Whereas the left, and certainly the other horse that I've used for these videos, he overbends the left all the time because they're always led on the left. They've usually got their head bent around to the left when they're being led. and there's somebody jabbing on their mouth like this in a rather meaningless way, and it all happens on their left-hand side, so not so much happens over here for them, which is a good thing for us. For this, I'm just going to try and hold my elbow up quite high so that it stops him from pushing on me like that. And you know, it's a behaviour that a lot of people call rude. It's not really rude, it's just he doesn't know any better. He hasn't been taught not to do that, so we're just going to have to teach him not to do that. If every time he comes around to me, he hits my elbow, then he's going to stop doing that, because that's not going to be very comfortable for him. Okay, now I want him to start walking forward, and we'll try doing the same thing but walking forward. Good boy. So first of all, I want him just to walk forward. I'm not going to worry about where his head is, I just want him to understand that the whip on the hip means walk forward. Good boy. Okay, now that he's going forward, I'll try to do a little bit of dip to the bit at the same time. Good boy. Good boy.
Now he's starting to listen.
Sorry?
He's starting to listen.
Yeah. Much better, yeah? He's nice, isn't he? You're lovely, yeah. Good enough, I think, for his first time. Yeah. You're a good boy. Yeah. It's nice to see them sort of come down like that and listen.
Well, yeah, you could see the point where he kind of went, oh, you're here.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, you're here. That might be important to me. Yeah.